Hello, good evening. Welcome back to Easy 8's Online Painting Club. My name's Danny, says it right down there. And yeah, episode 104. It's good to be back. Last week I wasn't here. It's actually been a very busy sort of 7 to 10 days for me, all packed in, condensed at work, lots of last minute training. I do quite a high pressure job where actually it's not always high pressure, but at this time of year I'm always doing lots of training is what I'm trying to say. It's very, very physical, and it means I have to kind of go in lots of different places across the UK, and this year it was a little less planned than it has been in previous years, a little less rigid, let's say. And they went, hey dude, you're going to the Isle of Wight in a couple of days, and you're going to be over there, and then you're going to have to come back for a day, and then you're going to have to go down to the bottom of the country, and then you've got to kind of get back up, and then you've got to go, and it wasn't just that I had to travel all over the place, which is tiring in itself. There was a lot of traveling, and then a lot of very physical activities, and then a lot of like meetings and stuff. It's been a bit of a mental week, really. So apologies for not being here last week. If ever I'm not able to make it online on a particular Friday, I'll try to do it on the Thursday or the Saturday, around that, but it just wasn't viable, I'm afraid. So I've not had a chance to do any work here at all. I've not had a chance to do a show. So that's the reason for my absence, and I humbly apologise, and I'm just grateful to be back in the studio this evening with you guys. There's a couple of you watching there I can see live. Just Jeff in the chat. Oi, oi, all. That's my dad. Hi, Dad. It's just me and you. There are a couple of other people watching, and that's cool too. Welcome to Easy 8. If you are new here, Easy 8 is not a tutorial or anything like that at all. It's literally an online painting club live, so that you can, if you want to, come along on a Friday evening between 7 and 9 and just paint some models with some company, me, my dad, and anybody else who normally joins in the live chat. It's normally quite lively. Sometimes it's not. Today might be one of those days. That's fine. You don't have to watch it live. You can watch it back later on if you want to, just because sometimes painting your models and getting through the backlog of unpainted grey plastic is a bit of a chore, especially if you're doing it by yourself. So that's what this is all about. So welcome. I hope you have a great time. I'm going to be here for the next 2 hours trying to paint through. I've had a bit of a block recently, and I'm hoping that maybe having that little bit of a break was a really good thing. So I can come back to it, although I have just realised one of my paints has been open this entire time, slightly open. It's still runny. I've just noticed that. Oh, that's one for the YouTube shorts, isn't it? Okay, cool. Let's see if I can close that. It is still liquidy, and I've got some thinners, so I should be able to save that. That's a dire state to be in. That's one of my better ones as well. Never leave your paints unlocked. The problem with these little Citadel pots is that when you're using them, they tend to go and they pop back over, don't they? So that's probably happened, and I've just not realised it. Someone else has joined us from in the live chat there, Rob Goodyear Polymath Workshop. Hi there, I'm new here, heard of the show from Kez at work. I've watched a few episodes, but thought I'd say hello. I'm working on some Ash Wastes Nomad this evening. Hi Rob, thanks very much for coming along. It's always brilliant to see a new person in the chat or just joining on any of our social media platforms. So thank you very much for coming along. Thanks for the really nice introduction. Hope you're well, and I hope you enjoy what we do here. If you do like what we do here, then you can find us on Facebook. Facebook here somewhere, Instagram, YouTube of course, and Discord at the end of the show. So if you want to, you can find us on those platforms too. Drop us a like if you like what we do, because that's what the like button is for. If you like it, hit the like button, and if you really enjoy what we're doing and you want to see more of it, then you should subscribe. And for that, I've got a fancy little graphic that I forgot to have my finger hovering over for on the mouse because it's been a week or two. So yeah, please do subscribe. Such a small little token gesture from you means a lot to me and really helps me make this community grow. Excuse me, I've just had dinner. Yeah, so it helps me make this community grow, and it is growing. It's growing at a rate of knots compared to what it sometimes does. Sometimes it slows down. We're up to 78 subscribers, and I feel really humbled by that. So thank you so much. If you have recently subscribed, and if you really are enjoying it that much and you've hit the subscribe button because you want to see more of what we do, then share it amongst your friends. So Rob, if you know someone who else might benefit from this, tell them. Put a little poster up at work. Why not? Who knows? Staff's joined us. Good evening all. Hi Staff, thanks for coming along, mate. As Rob says, I'm hoping to use the show to reach my hobby goals. Got to paint the whole Ash Waste set this year. Tell me more about the Ash Waste sets. That is a Necromunda set, isn't it, for Warhammer 40,000 Necromunda? I think. That sounds like it is. I'm a little bit out of touch with Necromunda. I do love it. It's great. In fact, a friend who recently had some serious life changes, all positive, but had to kind of get rid of everything, and is one of those people that has surplus income. You know, the sort of, this is the only thing that I do and spend my money on, and then basically filled his entire house with practically unmade and unpainted models. So I've got a cupboard just over there that is filled with Necromunda stuff that I just don't know if I'm ever going to get around to. And I said, hey dude, if you're having a bit of a crisis, or you know, or you don't really know where your life's going at the moment, and you want me to look after this stuff, then I'll look after it for you. If you ever want it back, you can have it back. So maybe one day he'll ask for it back, and that's absolutely fine. Or maybe one day he won't, and I've run out of things to paint. I can't see that happening. I have so much stuff to paint. So it's great to have you guys coming along with me to get some painting done. Can you tell I'm really chirpy about tonight? I really miss it, man. It has been so busy. Stafford came over here to my house just the other day, and I was hanging. I was like this. And we just sat around and drank beer. Normally we play games and stuff. So, yeah. I'm just tired. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting on with some painting. Like I say, I hope that the break has been enough for me. Anyway, do you know what? There's loads of stuff going on this evening. Hopefully down here on the workbench, and I'm going to take you there right now. So here we go. It's really cold in my studio today. I'm a little bit chilly, and I almost broke one of my golden rules where when you get the little graphic where it changes from scene. I was talking over top of that. Never talk over that. You should never talk over your graphic changes. It's just bad form. It's unprofessional. Anyway, back to the workbench. Much better. There we go. Okay, cool. So here are my two Hive Guard Tyranids from Warhammer 40,000. I love Tyranids, Rob, just in case you didn't know. If you're new here, you wouldn't know that I'm completely obsessed with alien things. So yes, this is Frank. This is Betty. Betty hasn't been painted much. She's just had her colours blocked in. So Betty can wait over there. This is Frank. I remember that this one's Frank because he has a shank. That's how I'm remembering it, literally like that. Yeah, so all I'm doing is I'm trying to paint these. I'm going to call them striations, but I think in the past we've called them like toenail effect or broken toenail effect, where you kind of get all these splits. And the last time I came online, I was painting on the top here, and I started going off in this crazy adventure, and I spent the entire show doing something up here that at the end of the show afterwards I didn't like, and I painted over it. And that's a part of my mentality. As I'm getting older, I realise I have a neurodiversity, ADHD. My friend calls me neurospicy. And sometimes I go, I've got a great idea, and then I'll roll with that. I'll hyper focus, and then I'll come back and go like, that's not what I wanted to do. After 3.5 days or something. So I'm going to try my best to stay on track. I'm going to ignore this top bit up here for a while, and mostly I'm going to be focusing on these bottom plates here. The idea is to kind of create a dark to light effect using these little like flashy lines and stuff you can see here. What I've been kind of doing if my autofocus comes into play. And hopefully it will work, because if it doesn't, I'll be sad. That's that really. I'll be sad. What I have realised is that my autofocus is on. No, it normally is on. That's how long I've not been doing this. If the autofocus becomes a problem, let me know in the comments there, and in the live chat, and I can adjust it if it's going to become a problem. Jeff says, I've been painting American Civil War fences. So many fences. I think the front part of my brain has failed. Yeah, you showed me a picture the other day of all of those fences. It's like, do you know what? Now, it looks like they're quick and easy to make, but when you've got about 4,000 of them, I should imagine that's probably taken up a large part of your life. Anyway, it's cold here in the studio, so no beer or wine for me. Just a nice fresh hot cup of tea. Cheers. Happy Friday. If you are working on something this evening, I would genuinely love to know about it. So tell us all about it. Join me. The guys in the live chat, if you're watching retrospectively, if you've got comments on things that are happening on the show, then drop them in, because I genuinely do read everything, and I am genuinely interested in what it is that you're painting. So yeah, tell me. Simples. Right, so on these two plates here, I've done the black, and I've done the dark grey at the top there. Black, dark grey. The dark grey isn't really blended in on this one very well here, so I might have a quick go at that. and then I've got the medium grey, which is the base grey here, and then I've got like a highlight grey. So I'm going to go to the dark grey, which is Eshin, and I'm going to give it a really good shake, because it's been a couple of weeks, hasn't it, since I've used it. I'm really upset about that paint. I can't believe that. Oh. Okay, give it a shake. And I'm going to go over to Staffer's favourite. I've got to get the graphic up in time. I'm going to give it a big old waz on the Easy 8 Paint Wazomatic. It's just a little vortex mixer for those of you that don't know what my Wazomatic is. I should never call it that. My Wazomatic. Okay. Right, so... Ooh. Lumpy. Let's get a dollop of this out. I'm going to use my 0 brush here. I'm just going to get a little bit out at a time. I don't want massive amounts at the moment. I'm going to water that down just a fraction. My lights are in my way. I can't see what I'm doing. Do you know, after every little break from the show, if I'm away for a week or something, I'm always nervous and actually a little bit like disinterested to come back in the studio, and I know that when I come back in it's all going to be great, and it's just really nice to be sat in the chair in front of my models again. I don't know what that is all about. I think it's just nerves about, oh, how do I do it again, or what happens if it's rubbish? Shut up, Danny, have some fun. So yeah, share some love with me. If you like the show, let me know. If you don't like the show, let me know. If you think of ways that you'd like to see it improved, let me know. The show is for you as much as it is for me. So I'm just trying to bring some nice lines in. And that's all I'm doing. I'm just feathering this colour in. Just creating, like Darren said it once when he was online a few weeks ago, and he said it's just like you're creating a 2D image, sorry, 3D image on a 2D platform. You're adding in texture where there isn't anything, fooling the eye. The problem with this grey is it doesn't like to cover over the black very well. So I've tried different ways of actually like doing the dark grey first, then putting the black on over the top. That sort of thing works really well. But it's just getting into that routine. I can see that my dad wants dancing girls on the show. I don't know how to respond to that. The effect that I'm trying to go for, you can see on my Trigon here, for those of you who haven't seen it before. It's kind of cool, right? If that autofocus is going to come into play. There it is. You can see the 4 different colours: black, dark grey, mid grey, light grey. And it probably shows up even better on my Carnifex, which is right here as well. Here she is. And as I'm doing it, it gets better. Which is a good thing, because that's what you want, right? You want to get better at it. Let the cats in, that would be funny. You know it wouldn't. One of them had a panic attack yesterday, jumping off of the radiator onto the bean bag, but the bean bag at the top was just puffed up and didn't have the beans in it, but she couldn't get back up onto the radiator onto her front legs because she'd already committed, and we locked eyes and there was a panic and she ran around and she was very upset, bless her. So she'd love nothing more to come in here and cause a scene. And run around with me, but she can't help but eat my miniatures. So yeah, she's not allowed in here. Sorry, bless her. So this dark grey here is just trying to blur the sort of the heavy contrast of the black, which is because originally I didn't use this dark grey. When it went from black to mid grey, it was just too strong. So I think what I'm doing is I'm getting a little too hung up on how this dark grey looks. And what it should be doing, it should just be softening the blow between that second grey and the black, which if I'm looking at it now, it seems to be doing quite well. I just need to relax a little bit, just put paint on the miniature, right? And I think in like further examination, rather than trying to make like a big band of black, a big band of dark grey, so on and so forth, run out of space, tiny little highlight, is actually with this dark grey is basically pushing that black right up. So you add the two colours at the top up here, I'm actually getting more dark grey than I am black. Black is just basically, oh, there's a bit of shadow in there. That's kind of what that is. Staff is saying, do not let the cats in. Yeah, the show will be over. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, that would be the end of the show. Free beer sounds good though, doesn't it? Should probably stop drinking so much beer. I want a bit of a health thing lately. Set myself a new goal. I'm training this year for next year. I used to run quite a bit. I used to go out for 4 or 5 mile runs 3 times a week. A couple of years ago, for some reason, just stopped. Just got bored of it, I suppose. And then my health, I would say, declined. That would be a kind of a disastrous thing to say, but it certainly slowed down. So I've been thinking, I need to kind of get back out running and doing something again. But I need a good goal. I need something to push hard. I've put on a lot of weight over like the sort of last 12 months. I work a lot in an office, even though I work in the outdoors. A lot of my work is office based, and that office jobs kind of you sat around, aren't you? And I do like to eat, and I do like my beer. And I stopped running. So yeah, this black shirt, if you go back to episode 1, this shirt fit me perfectly. It does not anymore. So yeah, I thought I'm going to start running this year. Try and find some time in around working, painting models and doing a YouTube show. And then next year, starting from January the 1st, 2024, I'm going to spend the whole year, every day, well not every day, but as much as I can running. I've got to run 1,000 miles within the year. This was a task set to be my colleague who had just done the challenge, and he is much fitter than I am, but I reckon I can do it. So yes, 1,000 miles next year. That is going to be something, because I'm going to be 42 when that starts. So yeah, if you want to get your fitness back, you kind of got to start somewhere, right? So yeah, a good old goal to get me back into it. Problem is that I'm not overly competitive. Well, at least I don't think I am. Other people tell me that I am. So, Rob says, I've just lost a tiny piece of an Ashway Nomad. I clipped it and it pinged off somewhere in a room. Lost forever. Until you get the Hoover up, then you'll hear it. And that's how you'll find it. It's up to you whether you want to rummage through the Hoover bag or not. My cats eat them. Yeah, man, it sucks when that happens though, right? Feel your pain. Okay. As you can see, on these 3 plates on the tail here, I've already put a band of dark grey in there, and it's lighter above them. So I'm going to go in with some black and just kind of, do the job over the top of them, I suppose. Yeah, see how that goes. Okay, cool. Let's put the dark grey away. Wash my brush. Cool. Where are we? Black. Here we go. Just gonna hit up the good old Wazomatic again. Bit of old black paint. This isn't from the Citadel version. This is from Vallejo, their air game air range. Jeff says, Rob, you will find that at least 20 feet away or in another room. Yeah, or stuck somewhere on your jumper or something like that. My chair is creaking a lot this evening, if you can hear that. I do have a filter on my microphone to stop sort of background sounds coming through. If you can hear that, it's really irritating. I'm really sorry. It keeps on going, I said ages ago I was going to replace it, didn't, and there's nothing you can do about it. Okay, so I've got some black here, and what I'm going to do is, I don't know about this top plate here because I haven't talked about shadows and stuff on there, but I'm going to start on this middle plate because there's a plate directly above it, and from there I can just create a little bit of shadow. And I'm not going to come down too far at the moment, I'm just going to, he says, I'm just going to plop it in there, but then I had a big splooge. I think I got a bit too much on my brush. I did. What I like to do with the black is I like to draw the line right up against the underside of the top, the previous plate, so that kind of margin is drawn, and then I'll feather it. And it's almost dabs, really, little dabs with the brush. This is a little method that I had kind of perfected with my previous two models, like the Trigon and the Carnifex, and I feel like I've lost it somehow. And I find that a shame. I don't really know what's happened there. I'm going to put a little bit of black in that tiny little crack there. Makes it look like it's split through. Hopefully you can see all these details. Yeah. So true, says Rob. Yeah. Yeah, sorry pal. Maybe if you get some like tape, like sellotape or sticky back plastic, whatever it is we're supposed to call it now, masking tape or anything like that, and wrap it around your hands so you've got mittens of sticky hands, and then just go all over the carpet until you find it. Sounds daft, only daft if it doesn't work, so if you do start doing it, you've got to carry on until you find it. And by the way, videos on Facebook please, or it didn't happen. Thanks. Welcome to the club. Okay, that looks fairly alright, I suppose. A bit more paint. Something like that. Yeah, seems to be working for me. Problem is I can just get so precious about it sometimes. You just gotta go for it, and you just kinda gotta get the paint on and go like, do you know what, this didn't look the way it was in my head, but hey, it's finished now, you know. I think what I'm gonna do on top plates is I'm not gonna use black because the black is for the shadow, right? That's why I'm using it. I've already said that, right? So that should be that. If I put a little bit more black here. Just like that. There's Jeff talking about Paws, or the Plymouth, not Plymouth, the Plymouth Association of War Gamers, which I'll talk to you about a little bit later in the show. But if you're interested to find out more about it, you can Google it. There is a link in the description just below if you're interested to find out what PAW is all about. And Salute 50. Go and have a little look. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, probably after the break. So we'll have a break halfway through. For those of you that are new and you didn't know, do I have to sit here for the whole 2 hours? Yes. But there will be a break. But yes, you do have to sit here for the whole 2 hours. Okay, I feel like I'm actually getting somewhere, and I think that's a good thing, so yay. It might be that I have to come back every now and again and just go like, oh, I'm just going to feather in this type of grey a bit more here and over there, and that type of grey over here. That's fine with me. Get that black in there. Yeah, there we go. Bit of black in there. Just make those little cracks on the top there just stand out a bit more by putting some black in. Make sure that I'm actually in the shot. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I've done that. Now I'm gonna just probably play with the light, not the ultralight grey, but the mid grey, which is the one that dried up. So let's have a little look at that. Oh my gosh! Let's bring my light in. It's actually, you know what? It's not actually that bad. Did I get away with that? You lucky devil. Okay, where's my mixing brush? There it is. Just I'm going to give that a massive waz. It's all dried up in the back of the lid in there. Crazy. Right, let's give that a good old shake. Good old shake. Okay, here we go. Staff, you say it, man. Say it. You know what you need to say. I'm not putting it up on the screen until you say it. Until I see it come up in the live chat, I'm not putting up the graphic. Gonna stay here until it's there. I know there's a delay. Hurrah, that's not it. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm starting to get a buzzing feeling in my fingertips. Staff, come on. Work with me here. Wazomatic, that's it, that's it. Do you know what? Your application to be a co-host failed. Just waz it. Oh, well, at least Staff's coming along. No, you wasted it. Rubbish, you failed. Your application to be a co-host has failed. Yum, 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 tea. Right. At least you're coming to pause. We call it pause. I don't think the S is actually in there. You're coming to paw. Sounds ridiculous, right? Yay, you're coming to pause. It's a really nice gig. And for people who live in the southwest like me, it's really close. It's just a couple of hours away, if that, from pretty much most directions. If you live in Devon or Cornwall, if you live in Somerset or Dorset, it's probably just a little bit further. it's there. What a delay. Yeah, when I used to be co-hosted with Kyle, we used to kind of try to calculate that delay. And because our setup was quite meagre at the time, it still is really, and it was quite unprofessional, and he couldn't see what it was that I was showing unless he watched the show. So there was about a 10-second delay going out, and then obviously he'd have to respond to what I see would then be like another 10 seconds. It was very difficult, but we got used to it in the end. Yeah, it actually requires quite a setup to be able to broadcast a live stream at the same time as being able to give a virtual webcam to Kyle or whoever. So yeah, I'm used to that delay. One of those things. Okay, so I've got a little bit of mid-grey here. I'm not going to add any water to it because the colour's already there, and I'm just literally trying to add just a little bit of definition to the sort of stripes that I'm painting. just trying to neaten it up really. So I've got a really fine point here on this brush, which is really cool. That there is pretty good, isn't it? Yeah, that's really good. So you've got some real nice definition to the dark grey that's in here. When I did that, it was a little bit shoddy, probably because I'd had enough by that point, and this is what I did just before I went away. And well, if I bring my light in a little bit more, there you go. You can see on this plate here at the autofocus, those lines, they're jagged. That's kind of what I wanted. That looks kind of cool. They're a bit rough, so hopefully I can neaten that up a little bit. Because they're on the back of the creature, quite easy to see. Nice. Maybe just a tiny touch of water just to help the paint transfer. It sticks to the brush and doesn't want to come off and go onto your nice little model. So just wet the bristles. Don't soak your brush because your paint, you'll have no control left on it at all. He says it's not a tutorial, but here I am tutoring people. Have a slight moistness to the bristles. And of course you can use things like a paint retarder. Sometimes I do. That just slows the paint drying down. Helps slow down the drying of the paint. You know what I meant. What would really help actually is a wet palette. I got a wet palette, but it's so big, actually it takes up quite a lot of space on the desk here. So I'm thinking about buying a new one, downsizing a little bit. And that would really help with, like, not necessarily keeping my bristles moist on the brush, but actually just keeping the paints moist. And that will really help a lot with this sort of method, or this technique that I'm doing here. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Just trying to make sure that I got some, even on those little small plates down there where it's actually quite hard to get this appearance, just trying to make sure that you can see at least a couple of jaggedy lines in the contrast there. The idea is to lend the impression that there is, you know, that broken toenail effect. And because these ones here are quite sharp, long jaggedy lines up here, they're not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up and occasionally add in a slightly longer one, but there's no moisture in the bristles, so the paint's not coming off at all. Let's make sure that I'm in shot. I keep forgetting to look up at the camera today. What I do, where these little splits or cracks are in the carapace, I draw a highlighted line up from them. Just makes it look like the crack is extending further than the actual sculpted part of the model, which is a nice little trick that I've learned. Made up myself, actually. They call it the Easy 8 cracked shell technique. There you go. Saw it here first. Tell your grandchildren. Just a little bit thick and gloopy, so just trying to keep the paint moist as well. That's cool. I'm just going to go back to the dark grey a little bit because I think I can change that top plate a little bit more. A little bit more, is that good English? Yeah. It doesn't help your English. Yeah. Just up here, I just want to improve that dark grey bit there, so just have a couple of lines come down, just like that. Struggling to be in the frame a bit today, so if I'm bouncing around a little bit, I apologise for that. Okay, that's pretty cool. So I've now got to do something with the top of the carapace, and I think like last time I tried to do like a dark grey blend on the top here but also have highlights in the front. It didn't work so well, so what I might just do is I might just add some like dark grey lines here and there just to kind of give this big wide open space something here. The problem is when I get to top plates on any section, it's just two colours by that point because you've got to highlight along the edge and then it just goes into the normal grey. So the dark grey, like on this thigh plate here for example, I might like low light, if you like, the top edge of it. But what is the dark grey simulating? Is the dark grey a part of the carapace colour, or is it actually the softened part of the shadow line? Do you see when my brain goes? You see why I can't really quite settle into it? So what I'm thinking of doing, if I work on this thigh here, if I just get like a little bit, I know I'm wandering off piece, but it's kind of a deliberate thing. I'm actually free thinking. If I get a little bit of dark grey here and just do like almost the very edge of it, like it's like a low light, yeah? And then what the main colour is the mid grey. So we're not actually looking for like a highlight or anything like that. What we're looking for is the main body of colour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the top side of that thickness, if you like. I don't think I should cut in all the way. Or they're just like a little bit unfinished, isn't it? So let's do the whole thickness. Let's just see what it looks like. Can always go back over it. I'd rather not, but you know. So only this top piece that I'm doing here then. Like that. So I've kind of got this darkened edge. Not too thick. Not too deep. Whichever way you want to explain that. feather it in a little bit, just for funsies. Okay. Maybe I'll come in just a little bit further. Something like that, yeah. And then on this thigh here, remember I'm still going to come in with the black anyway, but I just think it'll be nicer rather than just doing a band that floats away from the top edge, so I'll just take that dark grey right up to it, and then I can come in with the black in a bit. That is actually quite a thick paint. I do need to put some water with that. There we go. Might need to drop a bit of flow improve in there today. That is where things start going wrong, isn't it? It's when I start adding all those different things to my paints, thinking I'm super cool and technical. Well, the products are really super cool and technical, but I'm not, so I've got to be careful about what I do. Be the guy with all the gear with no idea. Tricky bit is now, it's just getting in behind this arm here. So all I'm going to do is just try and just drop like a little band in without worrying about the effects or anything. Just do that. Basically. It's actually looking quite good. I'm quite happy with this. See some comments going in here. What's going on? Jeff says, do you think with your top plate you might need to use a slightly lighter, almost white at the front, just so you have that third colour, or would that throw the colours right out? That's a good point. I think I thought something similar like that before. I would be worried that it would throw my colours out. Perhaps that's something I'll have to practice on the other leg. At the west, I can just go back over it, right? Not an issue to practice. But at least I know that you understand what it is that I'm saying. It's just like when I'm sat here painting, I get quite frustrated because just seeking perfection, and then just can't help but think about how I want to achieve this thing that I can't seem to achieve. I have this picture in my mind's eye, and it is translating it coming out here is so difficult. And you just want it to be your best, don't you? If you remember episodes and episodes ago, what I'm trying to do with my Tyranids is, as I go through each set of new models, is just get better. By the end of it, I've got a Forge World now out of production Hive Tyrant with wings, a beautiful model made of all the resin and whatever, waiting to be painted in the same technique. But obviously, I want to use that as my grand finale so much, so to speak. So yeah, by the time I get to it, I'm hoping that I would have kind of got this technique down to the point where I'm happy to commit it to a model that is rare and beautiful in a creepy alien kind of a way. You know what I mean. Okay, that looks kind of cool, doesn't it? Yeah. I don't want to bring that. See, this grey bit here comes out about halfway on these plates. That's cool. I'm going to use the mid grey again to add some sort of sharp lines up. But on the top plate, it's just there to kind of give that top plate an extra colour. Staff says, oops, just found an unbuilt Sherman and Panther. Well, looks like your evening's taking a change of pace, isn't it? Have fun with that one. Okay, cool. Let's go to mid grey. Which I got just over here. I said a tiny drop, not all of it. Crikey. Tiny drop of water. Adds litres. Bit of mid-grey. Here we go. I'm going to come back to these tail plates for now. Just make sure that they're all looking nice and fine, because I didn't finish off this bottom one down here. And again, I use this ADHD thing quite a bit now. It's almost like it's become a trope, but it is a recent discovery in my life, and it obviously takes it's got a big part of my life with it. So yes, it's a big focus. Don't know really what I'm saying, and that is a symptom of it. I have found, but what I'm trying to say is that I will wander around on the model. If I'm trying to focus on this leg here, I can't. I have to do this leg over here, and then that bit, and then I'll come over here, and I go, oh yeah, leg. Yeah. I'm just kind of neating up areas where, like, I've rubbed it off with my fingers here, so you can see, like, on the edges of the ankles here, it's got a bit yellow on the corners. So yeah, it's one of those things that's going to happen. As I start to do that a little bit more, I'm going to put him in my model clamp, so that, you know, like you've seen me with all the termagants I had a little while ago, just make it easier to handle. But for now, I'm quite happy to carry on. Now, just going to make sure that this colour here is nice and opaque and covered well. And I'm just going to start making those little sharp, cracked lines up towards the dark grey. So I'm quite happy with it here. And make sure that that's a nice fine point. There we go. This little layer here, just adding in just delicate little details. They're so small here, it's more of an illusion at this point. And neatening up the edges. I'm already much happier with the way that is looking compared to earlier. Still got to come in with a black line yet, but on this side here, all I'm going to do is just do like a little line just to go done, like I did on the termagants. They're so small you can't even see it really. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, black it is then. Tiny amount of water. Just reactivate that black that's in there. Super fine point. Super small plates. So, got black on these ones here, so it's just on the thigh really. Not wet enough. Down way thicker than I wanted it to. thicker, not being the quality of the paint, though that hasn't helped. The actual sort of width of the line, not cool. So I'm going to come in with a clean brush, bit of water, and see if I can just tidy that up. The paint was just sat there a bit too long and it congealed. That has unfortunately ruined that little bit there, but I'm not going to shed a tear about it. Oh, just caught my light with my paintbrush. Scrubbing it back is actually pushing the paint back, which is kind of cool. Nope, you didn't win them all. Okay, I'll neaten it up in a second. Let's go back to some black paint, get some fresh stuff out. There we go. I am going to get like a little dollop of flow improver here. And I'm going to dip my brush in it occasionally rather than mixing it in with the paint. So I'm just going to get a little drop of that on the side. And that might help it move a little bit. Literally just wet my brush in that. Wipe off the excess on the side of the palette. And then a bit of black. So my bristles are now wet, but wet with flow improver rather than water. Oh, a million times better. That looks really cool, right? Yeah, it does. Dipping my brush in flow improver has made all the difference. Yeah. Oh, that's super cool. Really, really easy. Look at that, that's come out really well. I really like that. Oh, it's nice when these little things work out, isn't it? Nice. Excellent. Okay, cool. Time for a little bit of highlighting then. So a quick check on the time. 56. Do you know what we're going to do? It's that time, isn't it? So, for those of you that aren't familiar, we take a little break. It's not all intense painting, listening to Danny's voice and watching him fail at painting. We'll take a quick 10-minute break, but before we go, we've got some other comments going in. Jeff says, staff, amazing what you find on the back of the sofa, isn't it? Yeah, you just put your hand down, there could be a pasty, could be a panther, who knows. Rob says, I've got to go get ready for work, but thanks for the hobby time and motivation, guys. Hope to watch this when I can this year. Built 4 nomads, lost 1 random bit, happy with that. Cheers, champs, says Jeff. And I also say cheers. Thanks for coming along, Rob. It really is. That was like a bit of a weird sentence. Thanks for coming along, Rob. Wow, need to put my teeth in today. I'm going to practice diction. That's what I'm going to do in the break. Thanks for coming along, Rob. It's really nice to see new faces. Please do share it with your friends or colleagues or whoever you think may just need a bit of hobby time, like yourself. And hopefully we'll see you again next week. In the meantime, I'm going to go and take a quick break, as so should you. Whatever it is that you're going to do, you should definitely go change your paint water. Go! Diction. Welcome back. I did not take my advice, as I never do. I didn't go change my paint water. Just been working studiously on highlights. Interesting comment that Jeff, my dad, put in there was, yeah, thought about it now, that you need to highlight the front of the plate over its head, the same as the back. It's not shading. It's showing the dry, cracked areas, but I don't know now. Yeah, do you see now, like, the conflict of thought in my head? But the thing is, if I had just the highlight colours and then the base grey, it's just two colours, as where like everywhere else has four. So yeah, but now you said that, I'm looking at the thigh plate and I've got like the low light on the top edge and then the highlight on the bottom edge, and I just don't know. It's very difficult, and the only thing I can do is just carry on going and having fun, because it is. Anyway, welcome back from the intermission. A bit of a weird comeback there. Well, yeah, if you are new here, don't forget that if you like what we do, then you can subscribe. Please do subscribe, or at the very least like on Facebook or something like that. Tell a friend and kind of share the vibe, and subscribe. I think I've come up with a new thing. Share the vibe and subscribe. I'm actually very happy with that, you can tell. Anyway, that's ridiculous. Shut up, Danny. Welcome back. We've got another hour, so if you're just tuning in now, or you fast forwarded because the rest of it was boring, I don't blame you. I'll be here until 9 o'clock, or sometime just thereafter, because I have life to live. Anyway, I'm going to go out to the workbench. It got weird there. Don't talk over the fade-ins. Right, okay, so here is Frank. I've just been doing the highlights on this plate here. I'm going to work on the highlights down there, because it's going to look really, really cool. I was just struggling to get the paint to come off of the brush again, as I always seem to be doing lately. Just down here. But it's looking really good. Just there is where I want them. This light grey is it's a little bit more tenacious than the other greys. It's a tendency to want to be drier or thicker. It's just a little bit harder to use. Once you get it the right consistency, though, it's great, because it's so bright compared to all the other greys. It shows up really well. So hopefully this will be a good consistency now. Yeah, there we go. Just trying to highlight around the outsides of that little split there. There we go, just like that. Some little striations, just trying to fill in the opacity down here. Just using the bristles as they split apart there, just trying to use those to kind of create some extra lines for free. And I might have to push the dark grey up a little bit with a mid-grey, because it seems to have lost the mid-grey tones there. So again, I've got contrast where I didn't really want it, but that's fine. That's okay. Apparently, I'm relearning, so whatever. If you are working on anything this evening, please do let me know. I am genuinely interested in what it is that you're doing, and if you've already told me, how are you getting on with those things? Because we've got quite a selection of things going on this evening. We've got Jeff making lots of fences. Lots and lots of fences. Have you got a photo of those up on your Facebook for Purple Lion Creations? If you don't know what Purple Lion Creations are, you should go and check down in the description of this video, because you'll find some interesting links. My dad owns Purple Lion Creations, a bespoke, tailor-made terrain building maker. He's very, very good, and I'm not just saying that because it's my dad. And he is working on lots of fences lately. Little snake fences, I believe that they're called, because when viewed from above, they look like snakes. Not because they keep out or keep in snakes. I think. I could be wrong now. My paint's dried up in my brush. Staff's found has found a couple of tanks down the back of the sofa, as you do. Rob's made 4 nomads, but he's had to go. Bye, Rob. It's so nice to have a new person join us live on the show. That's a rare treat. I hope Rob comes back. Come back, Rob. Okay. So I'm just gonna. I should do like a little line along the bottom. Trace the outline. I've actually run out of this grey paint here, which is annoying. Doesn't look like I have. Come on, behave. Bristles are splitting apart. And then once I've kind of penciled in, if you will, traced in that little line at the bottom, then I can start these little feather lines again. I'm actually thinking about in the future when I'm doing the highlights, when I'm doing the grey, I'll actually start with the highlights, because I do the highlight lines and then I follow in with the colours on those patterns, and it might be an easier way of putting it down. Always looking for a better way or something. So that's just the thought I've had. Just making sure I've got the right colour there. It looks quite white. It's quite cold today up here. Normally got the little heater on beside me, but today, not today. Again, just a little bit of flow improver to moisten the bristles up. And then I can put the paint on my paintbrush. Hopefully that'll give me a nice moist paint. Thin bristles. Oh yeah, that's lovely. Quite hard to get in behind some of these limbs, so when it gets to there I'm just gonna force the colour down and not really worry about the pattern. Same again. I don't know what these little nodule bits are here on the back, but I quite like to paint them quite heavily in the highlight colour. Makes them stand out a little bit. Make sure that I'm in shot. There we go. Got a little split here. Paint around that. Trace the line along the bottom. Hopefully. Just a little bit of edge highlighting there. If I don't like just normal edge highlighting, I've got to add those little lines in as well. So once we've got it down there, I'm going to make a little spike up from the top of that crack. Like so. That's actually a really bad line that I've drawn. Maybe need a bit of water. Break that paint up a little bit. I just realised I'm pulling some really funny faces today while I'm painting. Real tongue pokey out business. Yeah, something like that. That's looking pretty good. flow improver. Touch of water maybe. Yeah. Next plate down. And then because I'm working on these really tiny plates down here, I'm actually not going to worry about patterns so much. This is again going into the illusion of, so I can just do the little dabs down there and that kind of gives me that impression. I do have a little crack down there, but I'm not really going to worry about that because it's such a small plate. I don't think I can really do that much of a job. Make it look really special. So yeah, it's a War Games piece, it's really tiny, I don't think anyone's going to be looking at that bit. Entirely happy with that second plate there. Just gonna see if I can add in just a couple of little lines. Just make it look a bit more special. It's just a bit rough there, I think. Definitely have to come in with that mid-grey, but I'll do that later on because I'm a bit bored of that now. Okay, so I'm gonna wash my brush out. Loads of comments going in. I'm gonna have to go back over these a little bit. There's a whole conversation going on here between two guys. Let's have a little look. Run out of grass, so got to get some more tomorrow. Do you need anything? A bag of electricity, please. That'd be great. Thanks. I was building a destroyed Sherman, and I found a whole one in my pile of bits. Yeah, same thing. Sofa, pile of bits. Steph, why have you got a pile of bits? If you're making orders properly, you don't have bits left over? Apparently. He does. Loads of Sherman, top hulls and turrets. Would you like some? Just need some hulls and tracks. Choices of hulls and turrets. Double-decker turret Shermans? I'm sure there's some sort of weird German-style late war concept art that you could probably come up with there. Did they do dug-in things where they just had Sherman turrets? Because I know that the Germans did that, didn't they? They have like just 88 turrets or Tiger turrets just as like land positions. Americans didn't do anything like that, did they, with their Shermans or British or Allies or whoever you want to call it? It would be a misnomer to call it the Americans because most people had Shermans because of the Americans. So because of the Americans they had them, but not just the Americans. Right, let's do this leg. struggling with the light grey today. Normally don't struggle with that one so much. What is going on today? Let's get a bit of flow improver in there. Come on now. This is normally these you want to work with. Rubbish. Start that again. Do you know what? I'm actually going to have to put a bit of paint retarder in here, I think, because the paint is drying as it's going on. I'm actually going to rub that little bit out again. I'm going to put a little dollop of airbrush cleaner down there, put that in my bristles and just kind of rub that last little bit out. Not happy with that, the way that that light grey went down. So here we go. Just pull that back a little bit. It was good up till there. Make sure you can see that. Only the Germans, I think, defensive. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I know Blitzkrieg early was kind of more offensive, was it, more mobile, but I think after that it was, yeah, just defensive positions. Also claimed Europe, essentially. Okay, right. I am going to get a big dollop of the light grey down. Big old dollop of light grey. Gonna put a tiny amount of flow improver in. There we go. I'm also going to put in a tiny amount of retarder medium, just because it's drying so fast before it can go down. Have I made a char bees yet? No, I haven't. I've been making some buildings, as you've probably seen on Facebook recently. So I've been doing the foreground buildings. I've got almost a little street now. It's really exciting. But I've got a couple more buildings to go, and once I've done them, I'm going to make the char bees. So yes, for Christmas, my dad, Jeff, bought me some char bees in the 15mm War Games range. Yeah, fantastic little things. I really like a char bee. I don't know what it is about them. I just think they're quite a chunk, especially for such an early tank. If you stand in front of them, they're quite an imposing vehicle. Right. Wash that out. I'm going to add just a tiny amount of water. That is a good blend in there. It's not a coffee though. Maybe I shouldn't call it a blend. Right. A little bit of retarder medium in there should just stop it drying so fast, because as I'm putting it on the model, it's going solid, and I can't do anything with it. I can't work with it. Seems to be coming off the bristles all right most of the time, but even that's really struggling. So yeah, here we go. It's quite wet at the moment. Taking it from the edges where it's probably separated a little bit, so I'll take it a bit more from the middle. There, that's a bit better, isn't it? Okay. Much better. Need a couple of coats for opacity. Keep over pronouncing the O in opacity, and I'm quite conscious of that now. going to bring that highlight edge up quite a bit more. How's that looking? Is that looking okay? Top plate on the thigh there. Does it look alright with a top edge dark like that? Or does that look a bit weird? I don't know. Anyway, gonna move on to the next plate down. Couple of weeks now working on this one model, just on this one technique, and yeah, fair enough, you can have one bad week, but time to move on, you know? Pick it up. That yeah, looks good. Jeff says the JRB's had some great camo patterns, very World War One to look at. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to kind of exploring some different camo schemes and stuff, because everything I've done so far has been standard Germans allies, you know. So you reckon the top plate of that thigh looks good, dark? You reckon that looks okay, yeah? That's kind of my question here. Is that how I move on? Dark edges, because if that works, that's what's going to be on here at the top of the head area. I'm so confused with my own colour scheme. Just go back over them again just to plop some opacity. Do it again. Opacity. 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 Now I'm underpronouncing it. Where is my brain at today? That looks kind of cool. It's kind of blurring and kind of giving an illusion, which I'm actually kind of into that. That's working for me. Nice. Okay, that's good. That's cool. So, do I just do highlight on this side here, like I've done here, like the lighting color, or do I do dark, like here? Because actually, there's a part of me that just kind of wants to do that all light. I could do light on the top and dark on the inside. I just don't know what to do. I think you need to lighten the top edge. If I'm wrong, just paint it back. Yeah, do you know what? Here I go. I'm just going to do it. Sick of deciding. I just need it to look good, alright? Okay. I'm going to go over that thigh piece again. So, is that what I actually want to do? When I'm deciding, I'll just make the lines more opaque. Do they have one at Bovington? We should take a look at one day when it's quiet. Road trip? Yes. Some people have been talking about going back to Bovington. If this is something you want to do, then I tell you what, you should put a poll up or something on the Facebook page, get people talking, see if it's something that everyone wants to do. If it is something that everyone wants to do, let's go and do it. That would be awesome. Okay, right, let's stop faffing, because that's what I'm doing right now. Okay, overthinking on the table, it looks fine. Yeah, you're right. I'm going to leave that thigh for now, because I've done it, it looks okay, and I kind of want to come back to it and just kind of review it, I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to highlight at the top up here and just kind of use this as a bit of a comparison, because originally I had done this bit all dark grey up here, and it didn't look right. So yeah, I spent all that time painting it during the show. I need to come back and be like, no, because I want this to look like sharp and bladed, and you don't get that by making it go duller, right? Yeah, something like that. I'll have to take a break from this in a minute because it's actually making me go a bit potty. But you get the idea. Yeah, it kind of blades, sharp, pointy bits, making it go dull doesn't seem to really work. It doesn't look proper otherwise. Jeff's talking about pause again. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. One of the reasons why I actually want to kind of pop this down for a minute so we can actually have a bit of a conversation, come away from the painting for a minute. So just going to see if I can get this little pointy bit done at the front here. I know that we've only got about 20 minutes left of the show. Probably got a little bit longer than that because I was a little bit late on today. I was late on today because just as I was going to go give my mic a quick test, and I'd already done a mic test and turned the computer off. I did an early test because I wanted to make sure that all the computer updates were done, and my microphone wasn't working. And I did an audio check and realised that my headphones weren't working. and listen to all the audio, because while I wear headphones I can listen to all the audio cues, noise cancelling at the same time. It's quite handy really, isn't it? But yeah, nothing was working. And sometimes Streamlabs, the streaming software, probably because I've done something or an update's happened or something like that, it resets all your audio stuff, so I had to go in and like pretty quickly program them to do that, which is why I was a few minutes late, just before I went on air. So yeah, we'll probably run over by a few minutes is what I'm trying to say. It's looking kind of cool, isn't it? I like that. What I'm going to just do is I'm just going to make some of these top lines a bit longer because they've got the longest line to go, and occasionally have a longer one here, so you can see it's like a little split just there. So what I'm going to do with that one is do what I always do. Draw a little line either side of it and extend it. Kind of got a line beside it already, so I want to make that more opaque. I got it right that time. Opaque. Good. Just like that, and then take it out for a walk. There we go, just like that. Yeah, that's nice. And I'll do this one here as well, these little fake ones. Into the brush, it's probably getting a bit stiff, full of paint and all the different mediums in there. It gets a bit caked in the bristles. Need a fine point. That looks okay. I quite like that. That looks pretty neat, doesn't it? Come on, autofocus. There we go. Doesn't need any dark grey. So I know that I can do the same on the top plate here and all of the top plates. That works for me, as long as probably it's about 50-50% coverage. So if I did 25% light here, roughly, 25% highlight here, and then in the middle 50%. Does that make sense? I think that's how it's going to go. And then the dark colours up in the tops up there, that's literally just for shadow. So probably even on the large plates, just get that black as a line in there, dark grey feathered out, and then medium grey, highlight grey. That's how it's going to go. Don't let me forget that. Your job is to tell me when I'm not doing that properly. That's cool. Okay, cool. How much longer have we got? 15 minutes. Right, so I'm going to do the other side of that headpiece there, because I would like to have a little bit more done before the end of the show today. Now, I'm going to stay online for a little while after the show, like I often do. You can catch me on the Easy 8 After Party on Discord afterwards. There's a link down to all our platforms below, including Discord, just below down there in the description of the video. So if you want to come and join me for a quick chat afterwards, you can. Some people come and join me for hours, but I'm not going to be on for hours today. My partner's been away for the same time that I've been away for. We're both away in different places, and so we're going to go and have not a meal together. We're going to go sit and watch some TV and just kind of catch up and chat and stuff. But I'm going to be on for a little bit after the show, so if you want to come and talk to me, please do. And in that time, I will continue my painting here. If you don't want to come and join me, that's absolutely fine. I'll just be lonely. So I'm just trying to match, if I look on the top, I can match how far that, do you know what I mean by the thick bit without the lines kind of comes back to, and I want to make sure that they're roughly the same. Yeah, something like that, right? Yeah. Got a little chip in the side there, so I'll just highlight him a little bit with a nice bit of pin lining in a mo. Get a bit of water in there, it's getting a bit claggy again. A claggy paint, no good. Trying to go back over the bits I've already painted, but of course I got a paint retarder in there, so I can't go straight back over it because it's not dry. As I'm wiping it, it's wiping the other layer away. So yeah, kind of got to give that a bit of a chance. I just saw a comment in there saying, yeah, it works. Good, I'm glad actually, because if I'm honest, it was starting to do my head in. Doing that quiet voice thing again. I apologise for the lack of talking, but it is my concentration voice. Okay, like I said, I just want to get that little side chip into place. It's like a little crack. The guy goes up there on the side, and I'm going to pick him out as well. So, a bit of water on my brush. I've got a claggy paint. That's the paint retarder that's making it kind of go all thick and gloopy. It's quite bleh. You can put that down in the quotes, Luke, if you're watching this. Just here, so let's bring this highlight line up to there. Just a gentle little highlight here. Gentle little highlight there. Nothing too strenuous. Lovely. And then later I've got to come back in and make all of this opaque. Just along here. Make sure I'm in frame again. Oh, something solid just came out of my brush. Go away. Bit of dry paint. Yeah, that looks the business, doesn't it? Looks okay. I could actually bring this side up here a bit more, but I'm going to leave it because, you know, I've been working on them long enough now. It's fine. Could just make that a bit more opaque. But you see how my ADHD brain keeps kicking in now? Oh yeah, I just do this bit. I'll just carry on doing that bit. But that's looking really good, and I'm happy with that. Frankly, that looks really good. There's no need to put the other greys in now. I was getting a little bit concerned that I would have to like keep fighting with different types of greys, and you know, do I bring the black into it, whatever. But no, so I know that I can cut this one down here. So I'm going to put that back at the mid grey again, and then I'll highlight the edge of it, and that's that. Some comments going in. Oh yeah, Jeff saying, well, there's Combatant Museums down the road. Oh yes, so if you live locally to where I do in North Devon, there is Combatant Combat Collection, which is a smaller museum. Used to be just you know, a guy who had a few artifacts in a shed, but you know, now it's turned into a major collection, because that's what collectors do, right? They get out of hand. And it's supposed to be really good. And I haven't been there for years, since I was a child, and I don't remember it really. So yeah, that'd be really good to go to as well. Jeff saying, yeah, it works nice. Thanks. I'm really happy that people agree. Please don't tell me if you just fed up with me seeing. If you fed up with seeing it, let me know if you don't like it. If you think it could be better, that's cool. Yes. He has head plates too, so that might help blend the shading. That's a really good point, actually. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. He's got head plates on him, and he's got gun plates too. So yeah, I'm going to try my best to get like all the other plates done on Frank before next week's show, hopefully. So then I can start work on Sheila. And then yeah, bony colours and whatever. If it turns out that I've been spending too much time doing all the grey bits, I know that as a show that gets a bit boring. I understand that. I know it's a painting club, but at the same time I am trying to entertain at the same time, and that is a difficult balance to hold. So if I haven't finished all the grey, I could just do that in my own time, and I'll come back and I'll do bones and things like that and all the other details on there, knowing that I can always come back and do the grey bits on there too. Staff says, Sunday the 19th of February, Cobberton has a tabletop sale. Shall we go buy a tank? Yeah, keep it at your house. Are you talking about buying a real tank or a tabletop tank? I'm confused. I want a tabletop tank. I mean, I want a real tank, but I don't have a table to put that on. I'm so confused. Betty, not Sheila. Oh yeah, Sheila. Sheila's my Carnifex. Sorry, yeah. Frank and Betty, not Frank and Sheila. Yeah, cool. Do you know what? I'm gonna come away from here for a minute because yeah, it's coming to an end. Let's move away. Let's go. Here we go. Yeah, I forgot to put a little thing up down there. It's the other side, down here. Yeah, we're coming to the end of the show. But before we go, I'm just going to make sure that I've got my notes here because it's kind of important to have. We are going to a couple of shows. I've actually lost my page. This is very embarrassing. Where is it? Come on. We're going to a couple of shows very, very soon. There's one locally down in Plymouth. I say it's locally. It's as local to me as you can before you're not going away. That doesn't make any sense. Plymouth Amateur War Game Society. No, Plymouth Association of War Gamers. That's what it's called. There's a link down there in the description, right at the bottom of all the other like cool, interesting things to go see and whatever. PAW. Click on the link there, and it'll take you to the Plymouth Amateur. I keep calling it Plymouth Amateur. Plymouth Association of War Gamers. It's a really nice, local-ish, small-ish, but probably growing by now. Shindig. They got like games being played. They got like competitions and stuff. There's lots of painting tables going on, and there's traders everywhere. And there's this, I don't really know what it is, some sort of weird community sports centre place with lots of halls, and they fill the whole place, and it's really exciting to go to. It's a small one, and it's but there's still loads to see. Like you can fill a whole day down there. Me and Jeff, my dad, we've been down there a couple of times now. We take lunch, we go outside, have a lunch break, go back in. What I like about the smaller shows is that you get an opportunity to walk all the way around it, take everything in 3 or 4 times. And that sounds a bit daft. Oh, why are we going to go and see something, the same thing, like several times? Because you don't take everything in one go. Why do I always go back to the tank museum? Because it's really cool, and I forget half of the stuff, and I miss half the stuff. And there's so many unique traders out there that are just trying to kind of get their products kind of seen. And I've picked up so many weird and wonderful little trinkets and things that just makes a little show like that really, really memorable. And I really, really recommend Paul's. I'm going to call it Paul's, Plymouth Association of Wargamers. Yes, it's cool, and I'm going to go with Jeff, my dad, on the 4th of February. It's on the 4th and 5th, which is a Saturday and a Sunday. And if you are interested in going, what I'll do is I will make a video tomorrow on Facebook as a reminder, and then you can drop in all your replies if you want to make a really big outing like we've done in the past. Get the local community VZ8 hobbyists together, and we'll go down there en masse. Or if it's just a couple of us, we'll get in a car and we'll go off down there, and we'll take pictures and maybe some videos and stuff while we're down there to put up on the Facebook page. Whatever you want. Jeff says he wants a Sherman. Yeah, me too. I do prefer a honey tank. That would be better. I forgot what it's called. A Stuart. Yeah. Staff says do it. No. So yeah, that's coming up on the 4th of February. I'm going to go on the 4th. I think that's the day I'm going to go because it's the first of the 2 days. There's more stuff there because, you know, it's only just happened and not everything's been sold. And the Sunday's kind of winding down. I'd like to be there on the exciting first day. More on that in the coming days and weeks moving into February, but it's not too far away now. It's like a couple of weeks now. And then there's Salute 50. There's also a link to Salute 50 down there in the description too. The reason I'm calling it Salute 50 is because I've discovered the other day, and I did know this, I just forgot to say it in the past, it's the 50th anniversary of Salute. So back in 1972 is when it started as a little local community get-together, a bit like Paul's, I suppose, in somewhere in Surrey, in the south of the UK, and it's just grown and grown and grown ever since. It is now not just the largest show in the UK, which is what I've always been saying it is. It's actually the largest war game show in Europe, within a type of category like something wargaming, historical wargaming get together. Well, anyway, it's huge. And it's been commonly held all over the country in the past, and it's normally over a couple of days, but this year it's the first year that I think has come back since the pandemic, since the lockdown, and it's only happening on the one day, and that is April the 22nd. My ticket is booked. It's really affordable. It's 12 quid. So if you want to go, there's actually quite a few of us within the community, and what I'll do is like I said, I've always saying this, you know, on the shows, I'll just keep on making little reminders leading up to it and whatever. So if you want to make those plans, then you can go there. There's a few of us that are going to go, and if there's going to be loads of us, then we're all going to go on train. We're going to get like not an Airbnb, but we'll get like a Premier Inn or a Travel Lodge or something like that, and we'll go and make a weekend of it. Even though it's on the one day, we can go up on like on the Friday beforehand, have a few drinks or whatever, say hi to new people, etc. And then go have a really nice day at Salute, because it's a big gig, and like all the big vendors are there, all the big traders, even, you know, like Games Workshop tend to have their own tables and things there as well, and then you get all the little micro stands on the side as well. It's going to be really exciting. I'm really pumped. I've never been before, and I've been saying I wanted to go for years. Why have I never been? I don't know. I'm a procrastinator. It's just one of those things that I do. But Jeff, my dad, is going. Jeff from Purple Line Creations. He's also going up with Colin Farrant from Charlie Foxtrot Models, who makes some exquisite laser MDF cut terrain buildings, and they're going to go together because they're going up with their businesses. So I think my dad, Jeff, is just kind of going up to just kind of network and, you know, pass business cards around. That's where Colin's going to have his own stand, and you should go even just to see him because he's a really nice guy too. Great hair. I don't know why I said that. I think he has great hair, but he also makes some fantastic models too, and there's going to be loads to see and do there. So those are two events that I'm going to. I know that there are some people within the community that have at least got both of those penciled in, and I think it would be wicked to at least go to the Salute 50 on April the 22nd as a big group. of people. So yeah, guys in the live chat, it's just the two of them over there just talking about what real tank they want. It's getting a little bit, you guys have had too much to drink, settle down now, all right? Crikey. Anyway, I'm going to probably call it there for tonight, really. Just going to make sure that I've, yeah, I talked about that. Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, I have needed, it says there, perhaps I need a short break. Yeah, perhaps I did need a short break. I'm glad I kind of got this in my head now, because that's going to bother me if I didn't. It's too many weeks just not knowing what I'm doing. Hopefully Frank will be finished next week. That will be what I want to do. I hope you guys have had a really nice evening this evening. I hope you've got loads of painting done. If you have been working on some stuff, please do stick it up on Facebook. You can't make your own mentions tab anymore, or community tab. Just stick any photos and comments that you want to on the scheduling for tonight's show on episode 104. Just put it in there in the comment section and everyone can see it, talk about it, and that's what everyone's been doing for months now, and I love seeing all the work that you've been doing, so please do that. That would be wonderful. In the meantime, I will be back next week. If you like what we do, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Every little thing that you do makes me feel really good about myself and helps me make this community grow and feel enthusiastic and carry on doing the show. It's great to have the company while I paint my models, and I hope you do too. Anyway, I'll see you guys next week. In the meantime, be safe, be kind, keep on painting, and I'll see you soon. Take care now. Bye-bye. Diction. Must pronounce.